Jeremiah Chang, diretor executivo da Pelican Paradise. É uma original Lucy Malásia, mas bem relega Timor-Leste durante Tina Sanulur Singhad Milaran. Em serviço da Pelican Paradise, o objetivo é tornar o primeiro resort internacional em Timor-Leste, com investimento nebe Macas. Programa Oinha que se conhece de Glitam Pelican Paradise no objetivo, missão ou valores, nos desafios, oportunidade nebe, moço no investidor estrangeiro e a Timor-Leste. Maia muito com a minha companhia programa Oinha e a IP Business Podcast, programa Amazing People.
Invest People proudly present.
Halo, maluco ouvinte Sira, hoje a minha programa Amazing People se colia ho e tenho convidado especial de Malásia, Mount Jeremiah Chang. Hoje se halal entrevista ne ho liang inglês. Hello Jeremiah, welcome to our business podcast. I know that Jeremiah Chang is the Pelican Paradise Executive Director, right?
Yes.
And you are currently living in Timor-Leste.
Yes,
right?
I am.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your educational background and your previous work experience?
Yeah, sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's a great honor and privilege. So, as you have introduced me, my name is Jeremiah. I'm a Malaysian. I've stayed in Timor-Leste for close to 14 years now.
Wow,
so I
years.
consider this as my home.
Yes.
My family stays with me. I have 4 kids. And,
4 kids, wow.
Yeah, we've been largely spending most of our time in the last 12 to 14 years, mainly in Timor-Leste. Yeah.
Okay. One of your kids were born here or?
Yes, so my youngest baby was born here last year.
Wow,
And,
so he's Timorese.
Yeah, so she has a Timorese birth cert, and we hope that our family will decide eventually when our kids grow up that they will also consider this as their long-term home.
Oh, of course, yeah. So your educational background?
So I'm the executive director for Pelican Paradise, which is we call ourselves a destination developer. We are here to help develop Timor-Leste into a tourism destination. But my background is very different. So
Really?
I am actually educated in Malaysia, and my degree is in the world of medicine. So I'm actually a medical doctor.
Oh my God.
So so my last job was actually in the emergency room.
Wow,
As a doctor, so it's a world of difference.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
So how did you choose to work with Pelican? Like why?
There are
Being
a number of
doctor,
reasons. Yeah, I love medicine. I enjoyed the work that I did. At the same time, I also am very curious about the world, and I think that by and large, doctors, we only have the opportunity to see things within the medical world. And the world is so much bigger, so much more exciting, so many more opportunities than just being a doctor. I know everyone is different. I mean, I love medicine. I love the time when I was a doctor as well. But I also wanted to learn about the business world, about architecture, about how countries develop, and in particular that last part about how countries develop and how we can contribute toward the development of a country was very intriguing and very interesting for me.
Yes.
I grew up in Malaysia, so by the time I was a medical doctor, I think Malaysia is already well developed more or less, and I always felt like, hey, I would love to have this opportunity to contribute toward seeing a young country develop. And the opportunity to come to Timor-Leste appeared, and I just felt that it's a very good match for the passion that I had. And so I decided to leave the world of medicine and explore this opportunity and learn about country development and to participate in it. And I have been very blessed, I must say, in the last 14 years,
almost,
to be part of this journey, not only for Pelican Paradise, group
But
and our investment, but just to see how the country has developed, to learn how so many factors actually need to come together for a country to develop.
Of course. So, did you work as a doctor in Malaysia for how many years?
I worked as a doctor for 5 years before I came here. Yeah.
So you discovered a new passion.
Yeah, I discovered a whole new world.
Yeah. Do you like Timor-Leste and?
Yeah, I think I love Timor-Leste. That's fair to say. Otherwise, I would not be here for so many years. I really enjoy just the time here, the people here, the culture here. I myself grew up in a small town in Malaysia called Alor. Not very different from Dili.
Really?
So this feels very much like home for me as well.
Okay, it's also Asia, still in Southeast Asia, so it's not a very different environment.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. As an executive director, what is your favorite part of your job, and what is your least favorite?
Wow.
Yeah, the positive and the negative.
I think I enjoy most things about the work that I have the opportunity to do. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy learning about the different facets of development. I enjoy the entire designing process for our project. I enjoy the collaboration that has to happen to enable a big project like this to happen. I enjoy working with our local staff. I enjoy working with our international staff. I think by and large, I very much enjoy the work that I've been privileged to do. Are there parts of the work that I don't enjoy? Perhaps. I think that the things that are out of our control, like our project went through a very long cycle just to be able to get to the construction commencement phase.
Yes.
And some of that had to do with the political dynamics in the country, and that was totally beyond our ability to control. And neither do we think that it's for us to control anyway. But
it was very challenging, right?
Yeah, but I think that waiting period and just that constant having to repeat the same things to different representatives of the government as they come and go due to the political dynamics. I won't say I didn't enjoy it. I think I learned a lot, but it is a test of one's patience.
Yes.
And being in the private sector, we like things to go fast and efficient, with efficacy and to be effective. And sometimes these periods of waiting can be slightly frustrating. But yet, I think that through it all, we learn a lot as well. We learn about patience. We learn how to refine our project more, and it matures as people. So I think that nothing is lost in this whole journey.
You also had the time to explore Timor-Leste, right?
Yes.
With all this waiting, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of Timor-Leste?
Now I would say I like my house.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
I mean, we've and the reason I like it is because I put some energy into it to build a garden, to raise some animals.
So you build your house here?
No, I rent a house, but I've worked on beautifying the house that I rent and makes it home. And of course, it's because my family is there. It's my home. And so, of course, that's my favorite part of Timor-Leste. But in terms of
it's where you live. It's your sanctuary, right?
Yeah. I think my next favorite place out of my home is actually the Balibo Fort Hotel.
Oh, okay. In Balibo.
In Balibo, I think it is an absolutely beautiful place. Has a deep history. In fact, I mean, some of the historical aspects of Balibo have been very, very meaningful to me to learn and to just to understand the story and the heroism and how people sacrifice for this nation to be born.
Yes.
And the hotel over there is part of that journey. So it's not just a hotel.
It's not only the hotel itself, but the meaning.
The meaning behind it. I think it is a very memorable experience.
Okay,
just
that's
to be there.
Nice. And your favorite food?
My favorite food. I generally love food.
Local food.
The local foods. I think that one of the very unique things that I really like about Timor-Leste is Aidila Tahan.
Ideal.
Aidila Tahan.
It's very bitter.
Yes, it's very bitter. I think at the beginning I didn't like it, but now I try to eat it all the time, almost every day. And furthermore, people tell me
that's good
it helps.
for our health as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, immune system. And,
That's right. And people say it helps you prevent dengue. I'm not so sure that it's very true because I've got dengue 3 times. But
oh my God.
But
here in Timor-Leste?
Here in Timor. Once in Malaysia. Twice in Timor-Leste. But nevertheless, I still like to eat it. Whenever a restaurant has it, I will order it.
That's good. Vegetables always. So.
No, I like meats as well. But that's unique to Timor. Something that I really learned to enjoy here.
It's a local food, yeah, for sure. So back to Pelican Paradise again. Sure. We know that Pelican Paradise is a Singapore-based company with a grand 5-star hotel and resort project located in Tasitolu and Tibar. Please explain us in detail more about this mega project. I have a few questions here that I want to ask you. When will the construction of this project officially start?
Actually, we started before the COVID pandemic. And that was even before we signed the special investment agreement. We had started some of the cut and fill works while the process of the special investment agreement was underway. And then we had the COVID-19 pandemic and we stopped work. And in that time, we also managed to get the special investment agreement agreed upon between the government and Pelican Paradise Group. So that was signed on the 3rd of January of 2022. And
last year.
Yeah. And since then, we have updated the entire design to match the market expectations and the new technologies and materials available. And we started construction about 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay, you already started. So
yes. So now, if you go to the site, you will see we've restarted all the cut and fill works. By that I mean that we have to raise the platform level for flood prevention. So that's ongoing. We're also starting to build roads. And then while we are also mobilizing our big construction teams to come on board.
Okay, that's nice. So it's based in Tasitolu and Tibar.
Correct. So phase 1 is based in Tibar.
Okay, you're going to focus first on Tibar and then Tasitolu.
That's right.
Okay. So what will this world-class resort include?
Yeah, so I will focus a lot on phase 1. So you can see this beautiful model here. This is the exact replica, of course, on a small scale of what is going to be built. So that will be a 314-room 5-star hotel with a big convention center over there at that corner.
Okay.
And this is 228 units of service apartments. We are going to run this construction in one single phase. So this is phase 1 of the Pelican Paradise development. It is going to be, I believe, definitely the biggest and probably the only big-scale 5-star development coming in. It's going to be mostly powered by green energy. We are going to try to put as much
eco-friendly then.
Very eco-friendly, as much solar panels usage as we can. It is designed to be very, very green and eco-friendly. In fact, we are designing this and building this to get the Platinum Green Mark, which is the highest green mark certification that one can apply for. So, for example, that all the rainwater will be harvested. There will be no use of plastic. It's all going to be green energy. The water is going to be recycled. Even the water from the toilets don't go into the ocean. They get recycled and used for landscape. So it's going to be very, very green and eco-friendly.
I can see many trees over there.
Yeah, and we hope to reforest the hills and also to do it with all the local species, bring back the beautiful flowering plants that used to be the identity of Dili City. The acacia flowers, the orange beautiful flowers, the beautiful yellow flowers. We hope to bring that back into this development. Who is this development catered for? We believe And we've always believed that Timor-Leste will join ASEAN. And when they join ASEAN, there will be a need for a big facilities such as this to host conferences and meetings, to host head of states. And therefore, we have built this facility partly due to our desire to support Timor-Leste's ascension to ASEAN with the relevant facilities. That's what we can do at the private sector. And also to jumpstart the destination building of Timor-Leste. What we believe that in putting something really, really world-class in Timor-Leste, it will cause quite a big ripple effect in the tourism industry. That people will start to sit up and notice that, wow, Timor-Leste has a beautiful hotel. Beauty, and they will start to be curious and start to explore Timor-Leste. And we hope that this will help contribute toward the development of a destination.
Of course. So is there going to be apartments to live as well? Or to rent only?
Yes. So what we are doing is, of course, we have a big hotel over here with some beachside villas as well. And we also are building these service apartments, but we will operate it as service apartments or more like hotel. Yeah, you can book it like a hotel. And the reason is we believe that Timor-Leste will develop as a family-friendly destination. And people are looking for different types of accommodation when they have families and groups beyond a normal hotel room that can usually sleep a couple. I mean, like me, when I travel with children, I tend to look for an apartment because I want to...
It's bigger,
It's bigger.
To accommodate everyone.
That's right. And then I have my kids within the same apartment but in a separate room. And I think that's why we have built apartments as well to support the hotel. There is also marina I can see from here. That's right. So the hope is also to build a marina. And as part of the design, of course, a lot of environmental considerations need to be factored in this design, and which we have done so. But the point of the marina is that one of Timor-Leste's main attractions, I believe, is in the ocean, where there is a whale and dolphin watching, and also that we believe Atauro, which has the world's most biodiverse corals, will become a very important eco destination. What is lacking is the infrastructure from jetties and boats to take people safely to Atauro and maybe even to Jeko in the future. So we have built this marina for that purpose.
With that purpose. That's nice. So it is expected to employ how many Timorese workers overall?
We hope to employ 1,500 Timorese workers, at least directly. And of course, there will be a lot of indirect impact on the local economy as well. So it makes more sense for us to employ locally. That is why we are in this country to start with. I think that people sometimes misunderstand foreign investors, like foreign investors are here and then they're going to employ a lot of foreigners. Actually, foreign investors don't want to employ foreigners as much as they can help it, because it makes a lot more economic sense in the first place to have a local workforce. And secondly, we are here to create job opportunities. So as much as we can, we will definitely strive to employ as many local Timorese as we can.
So how many hectares will it cover? I know that it's very wide and very big.
Yeah, so phase 1 covers about 22 hectares, of which about 50% of it is in the reforestation parcel. So about 11 hectares will be occupied by the hotel and the service apartments, and then the other 11 hectares are for reforestation and landscape buildings. That's for phase 1 of the development.
I know that it covers Tibor area also and Tasitolu, like you said before. So
yes, that's right.
Very wide.
So for the phase 2, it covers a bigger area. The entire development plan encompasses about 556 hectares, out of which 82% is going to be used for greenery. We hope to set a benchmark for sustainable development. in sense of environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and also economic sustainability. But I think many people don't start off projects emphasizing on environmental sustainability, and that impacts the long-term success of the destination. So what we have done is to invert everything and to focus first on environmental sustainability, and believing that as the pioneer kind of a tourism developer, that once we put a lot of emphasis on environmental sustainability, then future developments will also have to follow that benchmark. And in the long term, that would then protect all of the natural resources that Timor-Leste has.
Has to offer, yeah.
Yeah, if the natural resources and beauty of the country is destroyed, there is no hope for it to develop into a successful tourism destination. People would come to Timor to want to experience Timor. We could offer international 5-star service, but I believe people will want to experience Timorese cuisine. They want to see what Timorese architecture looks like. They want to see Timorese local plants and just to experience Timor for,
exactly,
for
local
Timor.
plants. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was missing this word, but yeah, the local plants. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, who will Pelican Paradise work together with? How many partners?
Wow, I do not know how many partners. In terms of as a developer, we are developing this project through our Singapore company, which is owned by Dr. Edward Ong. So we will definitely form as many local partnerships as possible. For example, we are already going to work together with the vocational institutes here, right at the start of our construction phase, so that we can hopefully bring in trainers to train the local construction workers to a standard that we need maybe in the first year, so that we can absorb them in the second year of construction. Because it, like as I again explained earlier, it really makes more sense to do it that way. So we expect to partner as widely as we can with all sorts of local companies, enterprises, NGOs who are willing to work together with the same vision, which is to develop this destination. One of the partnerships that we've already pioneered has been the HOTL, which is the currently the country's leading hospitality association. So now all the major hotels, all the hotels basically in Dili, including the restaurants, the tour companies, the airlines are all working together within this association to champion hospitality and tourism. So we understand and we try to bring forth this cooperation and this collaboration that all of us in the hospitality industry need to work together, because our competition is not each other. Our competition is Bali. Our competition is Flores, or our competition is Labuan Bajo. Our competition is Darwin. So all of us who have an interest and what we call a stakeholder in the hospitality industry and tourism industry need to collaborate and cooperate to build this destination together. So that's one of the examples of the people or partners that we have worked with. So basically, we are working with all the other people who are in the hospitality industry already, and this is already ongoing.
Because the main goal is to attract more tourists to Timor-Leste and also develop this country.
That's right. Yeah. So the paradigm is that no one company or development is able to promote a destination. And our hotel cannot just promote our own hotel. People don't come to Timor-Leste because of our hotel. People come to Timor-Leste because they want to see Timor-Leste. Now, when they come to Timor-Leste, they might stay in our hotel, they might stay in somebody else's hotel, or they might eat at anybody's restaurant, and that's fine. But what is the hope is that we can drive such a number of tourists to come to Timor-Leste that everyone in the hospitality industry benefits.
Like you said before, the competition is not the other companies in Timor-Leste, but other tourist destinations like Bali and Fiji, and
That's
around
right.
here.
Yeah. So in our feasibility studies, if we take the number of arrivals, tourist arrivals to Bali and Phuket, which are the two big, destinations in Southeast Asia,
tourist destinations in Southeast Asia.
and we wouldn't even need more than 1% to fill up all the hotels in Timor.
And do you think that Timor-Leste has what it takes to be?
Definitely, that's what we believe. Otherwise, we wouldn't be investing this amount of money and resources to do this project. We truly believe that Timor-Leste is very well positioned to be the next successful tourist destination, but very unique. So we don't want to develop another Bali. What we hope to develop is a tourist destination that is known for its culture, people, and environmental sustainability.
Yeah. So you want people to feel that they are in Timor-Leste and not in other countries.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the investment cost for this project?
I think phase 1 would see an investment of
for now.
500 million.
500. Okay. And now, what is the vision, the mission, and the core values of the company? I know that it's a very overall question, but you can answer like first the vision and then the mission.
Well, I think a very big way that we look at how we can contribute towards this country is not in terms of a project. I think it's always in terms of what we can contribute to the people of this country. So our vision really is to empower the next generation in Timor-Leste. Like, how do you do that? And so how we do it is through our mission. And our mission is that we want to do this through implementing very thoughtful and sustainable projects such as this that can create a lot of opportunities for young Timorians. And we believe in people who are responsible and who are competent will naturally rise to the top, and they will create their own opportunities. But the first opportunity needs to be created in the sense of, they have all these jobs and there's all these leadership positions in the hospitality industry, in the hotel industry, and then it's up to the most competent and the most responsible, the most hardworking people. Then they will have the opportunity to rise up and become leaders in the industry. And we hope that in the future we would see Timorese hoteliers all over the world leading other hotels globally. It's not impossible.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we really believe that this can happen.
Okay. Did you feel like it was very challenging to invest in Timor-Leste as a foreign investor? You already said. But can you explain it a little bit more?
Every country has its own challenges. So I can't really speak that Timor-Leste is more challenging than another country for the reason that I am not a foreign investor. I've not had the experience as a foreign investor in another country.
Yes.
So I've only had this experience in Timor-Leste. It has been what it has been. I think that Timor-Leste is one of the most attractive countries to invest in right now.
It has a rich culture and
yes.
costume.
Just in terms of numbers, Timor-Leste has a very young population, and that is energetic, that is bright, that is creative. I think that this human resources is vastly undervalued by many people. I think Timor-Leste has one of the best tax regimes in the entire world.
Really?
Yeah, Timor-Leste has overall corporate tax of 10% and even tax on employees of 10%. That is very attractive globally. Okay. And I think that Timor-Leste has this opportunity to jumpstart many countries, because it being a fairly new country, it doesn't have to go through all the mistakes and holes that other people have gone through. It can just learn, and then it has the benefit of having all the world's best technology available now. And that should be able to jumpstart the development of this country. Further to this, I think that as Timor joins ASEAN, it will cause a lot of waves. People will be like, wow, where is this country? Timor-Leste is now part of ASEAN. And then once people start coming to Timor-Leste, I think that they would see all these opportunities. And these opportunities only exist for maybe a few more years in a sense because once people start to come to Timor, they realize actually it's a really good country, it's a very peaceful country, and then people will really start to invest in Timor-Leste. Right now, the situation is people perceive, people don't know enough about the country, so they perceive that this is a very high risk, dangerous country, or they just never heard of the country, so therefore they never come. And this perception is, of course, totally incorrect. It's a absolutely
That's
beautiful
the
and
idea
safe
that
country.
people has abroad. Like they
That's
think
right.
that Timor-Leste is still a war country and not very safe.
That's right.
But that's not the truth.
That's right. So people always say that the greatest opportunities for investment lies in when the perception and the reality is very far apart. So the reality is that Timor-Leste is a beautiful, safe country with a lot of opportunities, but the perception is that this is maybe a dangerous country or it's just unknown to people. So because the actual perception of people and the reality is so far apart, therein lies the greatest investment opportunities for people, not only for foreigners, but for local national investors as well. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So it's always risky to build a world-class resort here. Why did you choose Timor-Leste? I know that you already said before, but...
Yeah, I think to understand that, we have to understand the vision of Dato' Edward Ong. Dato' Edward Ong developed Sutra Harbour Resort in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysia. When that city was similar to Dili. There were no big significant hotels. There was no significant international tourists. And the state was the poorest among all the other states in Malaysia. And it was strange because Sabah had a lot of resources in logs and in natural resources, but it was poor. And compared to all the other states in Malaysia. So it's very similar to here. They had beautiful natural resources. They had the orang utan, they had the Rafflesia flower, the Sipadan Island. But all those things were not famous back then. Nobody marketed the destination, unknown. So Dato' Edward Ong believed that by investing, he could really help grow Sabah into a tourist destination, and that would alleviate the GDP, that would help alleviate poverty, that would create a lot of jobs, that would create an entire new sector that didn't exist back then. This was back in the early 1990s. And what is the fruit of all his work there is that today, Kota Kinabalu was recently voted this year as one of the top 10 tourist cities to visit in the whole world.
Wow. Okay.
So that's quite something. The hotels in Kota Kinabalu, in Sabah are mostly full. Tourism has become the second biggest economic pillar in Sabah. So it's a huge impact on people's lives. Just even if you just take an overview in terms of macroeconomics, you can see that from nothing into something really significant pillar of the economy. So by understanding that, I think we can understand why Dato' Edward Ong really wants to invest in Timor-Leste, because of the potential similar impact. People who don't understand impact investing, I think they always think that it's silly. Like, why don't you just invest in Bali? Invest in Langkawi, invest in Phuket. You have very fast, very easy, fast returns of investment. The destination is already built. But then the question is, what impact do you have on a country, on a community, on people's lives? The tourism is already developed in Bali. You put another hotel there. You are not making tourism bigger. But you are making yourself richer perhaps. But I suppose at the end of everyone's life, they want to reflect back and to realize that they have contributed and used the resources that God has given to them for the betterment, for the blessing of other people. And we believe that this could happen. It's not necessary that if you build that people would come, but at least if we believe that investing in Timor-Leste has the biggest impact on helping create a tourism sector and a tourism tourism destination within this region. We cannot think of any better place to invest in order to have this kind of impact. and
Of
to be
course.
of a blessing to the people.
Of course, that's very nice to hear. So the main purpose of this project is not only to earn money, not just to earn money, but also to help develop this country, right? In a
Absolutely,
positive way.
absolutely. I think that the economic sustainability is to enable um, the development of the country.
Yeah. Also to change people's lives here.
That's right, and to
Yeah,
create
locals.
opportunities.
To create
And
opportunities.
so back to the main vision, which is to empower the next generation in Timor Leste.
Okay, very nice. So, is there any advice that you could give to foreign investors that want to invest in Timor Leste?
I'm not sure I'm qualified to give any advice to anyone, but I would suggest to all the listeners, whether you are local or you are a foreigner, that Timor Leste has a lot of opportunities um, at the moment. It is undiscovered. It is, the tagline for tourism here is explore the undiscovered, and it's not just for tourism. I think every sector can benefit from having national investment and international investment into it. So if someone who is listening and has never heard of or ever visited Timor Leste, not my advice, but I would recommend for you to visit Timor Leste. Come and see the country, see the people, see the culture, see the potential, and consider investing in a country where your money can go beyond just generating economic return, but it can go and impact a lot of people's lives in a very positive way.
Of course. Um, what can people expect from you next? Now, with regarding Jeremiah, we're gonna want to talk about Jeremiah.
Um, I believe that I'll continue to try to contribute the best I can to grow the tourism sector as a whole. But I think that even as the Pelican Paradise project develops into the phase two, there will be new sectors that will come up. There's an international school and an international hospital and a
Nice.
youth development center that will come up in phase two. And personally, I would hope to invest my time into developing those sectors as well.
Of course.
After the tourism sector, I think hopefully there's a strong enough foundation for other people to take over my whatever I'm doing currently and further develop the tourism sector. Then, if the opportunity arises, I would certainly hope to work and help into the development of the education, health, and youth development sectors in this country.
Of course. So, before we close out, define success in 3 words.
I think that in a short phrase, success means taking responsibility. Um, yeah, in short, I think a longer way of saying it would be that to be able to endure sacrifice in a joyful manner for the greater common good. And I think to me that that is the best definition of success that I can think of. Like, so I have in my mind heroes, even heroes in Timor Leste, the founding fathers of the country. I mean, most people would consider them, if you ask who's a successful person in Timor Leste, they would probably name people like His Excellency Shandana Gusmao, His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, His Excellency Dr. Mari Al-Khatiri, and all these other great founding fathers of the country. But why do we say they're successful? Well, it's because all of them sacrifice for the greater good. They believe in a cause that was worthy of that sacrifice, and they were willing to endure that sacrifice for the greater good of all Timoreans. And that is the local context, but I believe for everyone's life generally, to know that what you're called for to do in life, what God has put in your heart to do, and you see that that is the calling and that is the greater good that you're called to do, and then to be able to walk the path and sacrifice what's required to see that happen, And I think that that's the definition of a successful life.
Okay, very good. So thank you for coming to our show, and good luck with your future projects. And see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me once again, and appreciate this time once
and thank
again.
you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
I hope it can inspire people. So. Ok, nemak uhing aminia programa, nebe espera que te bel inspirei te botsira, que te halua share, like ou subscribe a mini YouTube channel IP Business Podcast. Obrigada, Uluk.